A few years ago, we released a special series on Epic Universe with the goal of covering everything we know so far about the upcoming park. It's interesting to revisit these older videos now, not only to see what we got right so long ago, but also what we got wrong, and what may have changed from the park's original plans. Keep in mind this series is nearly 3 years old, with the original videos uploaded in the winter of 2022, so not everything is going to be 100% accurate, although some is more accurate than you might think. Plus, stay tuned after the presentation for a sneak peek at an upcoming project for the channel. Thanks, and enjoy the show. Now planned to open in summer 2025, Universal's Epic Universe will be Universal Orlando's newest theme park. With 4 themed lands, a massive central hub, and several new hotels, this huge undertaking is under construction now near the Orange County Convention Center just east of I Drive. Today we are digging into the first of a 5-part series where we are attempting to go over just about everything we know so far about this new theme park. We're starting with the massive 25-acre section of land that will make up the center of the park, known as Projects 900 and 901 in the permits. After making our way through the park entry turnstiles, we pass under a tall arch. This arch will be much taller than the iconic arch at the entrance to Universal Studios Florida and will feature a large armillary sphere of the solar system with gyroscopic rings orbiting the sun at the center. At the bottom of the arch will be our first portal, taking us away from the real world and into the so-called celestial gardens of Epic Universe. Portals will be how we will travel between the different worlds of this park. Each one will feature a similar base design, looking like a half-circle tunnel decorated like an astrolabe for space navigation. The tops of each of these portals will be decorated with a large spire, which will act as a beacon, or in theme park terms, a weenie, so we can find our way in and out of each of the themed lands. These spires will be themed to match their corresponding land, like an electrical tower to represent the land based on Universal Classic Monsters, or a spire made of colorful pipes for Super Nintendo World. Standing at the park's entry courtyard, we will see cascading waterfalls in a water feature directly ahead of us. To our left and our right will be covered walkways leading deeper into the park. These covered walkways will act almost like Parisian arcades and even feature retail locations along the 2 routes. One of these will be the park's main gift shop, rumored to be named Sensorium Emporium. The central hub for Epic Universe will act not only as a hub for making your way between the themed lands, but also as a sort of Main Street USA. There will be multiple retail locations and several dining options within this central area. The hub is so big, in fact, that it will actually be split into smaller areas, each with its own defining theme. These themed sections are thought to be inspired by different elements, like water, air, fire, earth, and ether, or space. These themes help to instruct the architectural style of the buildings within each area, like a barbecue restaurant in the fire area or an underwater themed restaurant in the water zone. The center of the central hub, which is the area themed to space, is where you will find the 2 attractions for this part of the park. One will be the largest and most thrilling ride at Epic Universe, a dual-track roller coaster, and the other will be a smaller flat ride. The dual-track roller coaster will not be hard to spot. With its 2 golden tracks jutting out towards the hub on the right side of the park, this will be the fastest and most thrilling of the rumored 4 roller coasters for Epic Universe. Manufactured by Mach Rides, the entrance to this roller coaster will be facing the hub itself, so it will not be part of any of the themed lands within the park. Instead, it is expected that this ride will be themed to space travel in some way to go along with the hub's exploration theming. It is rumored that this dual-track roller coaster will be named Starfall Racers. This is likely a reference not only to the space travel nature of the ride, but also its 2 tracks, which will race side by side for much of their individual circuits. Thanks to the amazing work of Amusement Insider, we're getting our best and most accurate look at what riding this launched steel coaster may be like. The coaster will be filled with multiple moments of airtime as the 2 tracks race side by side with overbanked turns and outer banked hills before reaching the ride's second launch. Immediately following the second launch is where we enter this ride's signature element, a patented dueling roll element. Patented by Mach Rides, this move will have one track invert on the way up and the other invert on the way down as the trains twist around each other. The latter half of the ride features a few more crossovers as the 2 trains appear to dance with one another rather than just race. Each track will likely feature a couple inversions and may reach speeds around 60 miles per hour. Despite the thrills and speeds, the coaster track itself may not reach over a height of around 140 feet. The length of each of the 2 tracks appears to be around 4,750 feet, the same as Jurassic World Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure. Now, in case the roller coaster is a bit too thrilling for your taste, it appears that this park will also have a second ride located within the hub. This one, a family spinner attraction. Long rumored to be a carousel of some sort, this attraction is depicted as what looks to be a round stained glass structure within the park's central water feature. While we do not yet have confirmation of exactly what sort of spinner attraction this will be, construction thus far seems to confirm that it will be a round flat ride of some sort. In addition to a carousel, another proposed concept was for a Mach Twist and Splash, which is like a teacup ride on water. Regardless of what it will be, it is speculated that this covered family attraction will be themed to constellations in space. North of this ride, another feature of the park's central hub can be found, a large Bellagio-style fountain display. This impressive fountain display will be surrounded by rows of amphitheater-like seating. What might make for a relaxing place to enjoy a snack during the day may be utilized for a nighttime spectacular show at night. Fireworks can be seen in the official Epic Universe concept art, and permits with Orange County show a dedicated fireworks launch site located within the middle of a retention pond behind the park. At the back of the theme park will be a 500-room hotel, known as Project 910 in permits, which is rumored to be named Universal's Helios Grand Hotel. Not only will this 10-story hotel be the backdrop for the central hub, but it may play a similar role as something like Cinderella Castle during the fireworks show, with fireworks appearing above it. Permits also show a rooftop bar for this hotel, which may offer views of the possible nighttime show. Near the hotel, plans submitted to the county also indicate that there is space being set aside for a future parade building. Epic Universe is not expected to open with a parade, but they are preparing for the possibility of adding one down the road. In addition to the main Emporium gift shop near the park entrance, the hub will contain a few more retail locations. One of the shops will be exclusively for Nintendo-related merchandise, and will be located in front of Super Nintendo World. With this shop facing the hub, guests will be able to shop for a wide selection of Nintendo items without having to enter the land. Another standalone gift shop themed to the Wizarding World is expected to be located directly in front of its land as well. In addition to making it easy to shop for Harry Potter and other Wizarding World related items without having to step foot in the land, these shops in the hub may also be able to stay open later than the lands for additional shopping after park close. The hub areas of Epic Universe will be home to at least half a dozen different dining locations, including what may be the only full-service restaurants in the park. Each of the lands will contain 1 or 2 dining locations as well, but they will not offer full-service dining where you order from your table. Starting near the front of the park and working our way around clockwise, the first dining location is named Atlantic in early concepts and is shaped like an octagon in official concept art. This upscale dining location, featuring both restaurant and bar seating, will be themed to the ocean, with floor-to-ceiling picture windows overlooking the park's southernmost water feature. Next up is a pizza quick-service restaurant named Moon Pie, which will be connected to the Nintendo store. Across from Super Nintendo World is a dessert location named Cosmic Cakes. Continuing along, a barbecue restaurant called Elysian Barbecue is located just outside of the Universal Monsters land. Permits also describe a Starbucks location somewhere along this side of the park, likely near the fountain display. Directly in front of the hotel at the back of the park is a full-service restaurant named Yin Yang in early concepts. Initial plans had this dining location attached to the hotel, but it looks to only be part of the park's hub now. On the right side of the fountain, inside the park, plans call for an Italian restaurant and bar named Cassini, which is themed as an observatory to go along with the space theme of this area. A quick service location named Meteor Burger was also planned for this area, closer to the racing roller coaster, but it was cut from the site plans shortly before construction began. One final and very large dining location is a food court-style eatery named Zephyr Market. Located near the entrance to the How to Train Your Dragon land, permits say that this dining location will contain over 400 seats. Permits also call for more than a dozen small kiosks, stands, and gazebos sprinkled throughout the hub, several with small kitchens and kitchen equipment for snacks and drinks. Not having to rely on existing intellectual property the way that the four lands will, the hub areas will be Universal's chance to create something wholly unique to Epic Universe. The visual language for these areas will be rich, with ornate flourishes and layered style that some have compared to the quality of Tokyo Disney Sea. The hub style could be described as timeless adventure, in the vein of illustrations reminiscent of Jules Verne or H.G. Wells, where we are on an adventure traveling from portal to portal, crisscrossing through a futuristic port as seen through a lens of the past. Of course, due to the unique setup of Epic Universe, some have theorized that the park could open the central hub area to everyone, regardless if you have a park ticket or not. Then you could enter each of the individual lands only if you have a paying ticket. I'm not so sure of that myself, but with only one way in and out of each land, similar to something like Diagon Alley, they will be able to restrict entry quite easily. For example, in case a land is currently at capacity. We'll just have to wait and see. Epic Universe will be Universal Orlando's newest theme park when it opens in 2025. It is being built a couple miles south of the current parks, and in this 5-part video series, we are digging deeper into each of the areas of this new theme park. In our last section, we talked about the park's central hub and how we will need to pass through a portal to enter each of the 4 themed lands. The land we believe will be based on Universal Monsters, known as Project 902 in the permits, is rumored to contain a portal with a tall beacon on top themed as an electrical tower. This is likely inspired by the original Frankenstein film from 1931, one of Universal's most well-known properties. The portal is also expected to be wrapped in the roots of a large, twisted tree. This is a motif that seems to have survived through multiple iterations of the plans for this land, which has undergone some tinkering since the park was first being dreamt up many years ago. The land itself will be themed as a village that was once terrorized by real monsters, and the roots that have taken hold, wrapping around the town, may represent the lasting trauma for the people of this village, always worried that the monsters may someday return. The village itself was designed as a dark and dreary place. Done in an old European style, this town may not represent any specific place from the films like Frankenstein or Dracula. Instead, it may be a completely new location developed just for the theme park where all of the monsters once resided in history. Since the town is locked in fear, we may see cages hanging from rooftops, weapons on the ready around every turn, crossbows armed on turrets, and other various weapons hanging on every wall inside of the shops. We may be tourists visiting this place of legend, but the residents here know the truth and don't take the threat of the monster's return lightly. The land will feature multiple facades to flesh out the feeling of a town, but site plans only show one main retail location, located near the entrance to the land. Across from this location, on the right side of the land after entering, will be the area's main dining establishment. Referred to as the Steakhouse in early concepts, and that is steak as in stake through the heart, this 362-seat restaurant is expected to be an upscale quick service location. That means you will order your food at the counter, but then be seated and have your food brought out to your table when it's ready, similar to existing locations like the Leaky Cauldron in Diagon Alley. In fact, it looks as though each of the 4 lands at Epic Universe will have one of these upscale dining locations. The steakhouse will be well-themed, with large Gothic candle chandeliers hanging from above. Continuing the motif of weapons at the ready, there will be crossbows hanging on the wall worthy of Van Helsing, and barrels of other various instruments of protection always at the ready and within reach of diners. In at least one of the concepts for this restaurant, the centerpiece of the dining hall is a massive tree filled with intricate carved figures. Carrying the motif of the roots from the land's entrance, this tree was to feature carved scenes depicting the horror of the monsters that once haunted this village. While this tree is keeping within the immersive theme of the land, it's also a clever way to tie memorable scenes from the classic Monsters films into the experience. The land will also feature another, smaller dining location, this one shown in permits as having 64 seats. Designed to look like the windmill from the original Frankenstein film on the outside, this will be another quick service location, but is also expected to contain a bar. The interior of the windmill lounge was designed to feature large turning gears and mechanical pieces overhead, which move in time with the windmill fins. Outside, permits show gas lines leading to the structure, which are described as being for a flame effect. This may mean that, like in the original 1931 film, we may see the old windmill burst into flames ourselves. Whether this would be continuous or every 15 minutes or so, perhaps similar to the dragon fire effect at Diagon Alley, remains to be seen. One rumor from early in this land's development is that you would be able to meet all of the Universal monsters within the back section of the village. While the plans have gone through some major changes, it is still expected that we may be able to meet and greet with some of the various characters, but contrary to some rumors, it is not expected to be set up like a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house or be filled with jump scares. Regardless of whether or not the land will feature character greetings, there is one place where you will be guaranteed a chance to see all of the monsters together in one place, and that will be the land's main attraction. Looming at the back of the land will be a large old manor. This will be the entrance to the land's main ride, which is completely indoors. The facade for this Universal Monsters ride is said to have been partially inspired by the former Chateau Miranda in Belgium. The Gothic style of the roofline, along with the pointy spires and the large central tower, certainly seem to match the construction happening now at Epic Universe. After entering, it appears we will ascend a staircase within the mansion, where the queue continues on at the second level. It is expected that the ride's load platform will be located on the upper level as well. This ride has long been rumored to be a Kuka Arms style dark ride. That is the same type of ride system currently in use at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. In fact, patents for an updated restraint system may have even included illustrations for what this newer version of the ride vehicle may look like. Rather than a flying bench, This ride vehicle may appear to have been designed right here in Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory, which is where the load platform is rumored to be located. With gears and mechanical details, as well as an almost coffin-like headrest shape, this ride vehicle was designed with a different restraint to allow for a much broader viewing range than Forbidden Journey. While Forbidden Journey blocks your peripheral view and focuses your attention to only what is directly in front of you, the Universal Monsters ride seems to want you to be able to see much more. This may be because this new attraction will not contain the isolated screen moments that Forbidden Journey has, instead focusing on a more classic-style dark ride approach. Other patents describe a round load platform, which is another departure from the Forbidden Journey setup. Here, we walk onto a continually rotating round platform to load onto the ride vehicles. The Kuka arms and bases for the ride vehicles will be hidden beneath the floor, with patented covers placed between the vehicles to hide our view of them below. One advantage to this round platform is that if a rider is taking a longer than usual time to board or disembark from the vehicle, that particular vehicle can be sent around the round platform again to allow them more time. On Forbidden Journey, the entire ride would need to be stopped. This round platform design should then hopefully cut down on emergency ride stops for this reason. This is a possible ride layout for the main attraction. It was assembled using several site plans and patents, as well as aerial photos to help illustrate how the ride may be set up. You can see the round load and unload platform in the center, and the darker colored track to the right is for stationary loading, which will still be included for ADA accommodation. One thing that is apparent on this possible layout is the absence of any large screen carousel moments, of which Forbidden Journey has 3. The layout for the Universal Monsters ride is instead laid out more like the physical scenes on Forbidden Journey and not the extended simulator sequences. Now, that is not to say that this attraction will not feature screen-based elements, only that it will not utilize the long, entirely screen-based portions that we've seen on the Harry Potter ride. While story details for this attraction are still not known, it's possible that someone may have restarted Dr. Frankenstein's research and somehow has unleashed all of the monsters. So far, we believe this ride will contain appearances by updated and more modern versions of Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, Wolfman, Hunchback, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and possibly Dracula. Despite being a massive attraction, which is no doubt one of the park's main e-ticket rides, this land will open with more than one ride. A second attraction is being constructed to be ready for opening day as well, an outdoor roller coaster. Track for this roller coaster attraction is just now starting to be installed as this video is being made, but it was rumored for a while that this attraction would be built as the land's second ride. Originally designed as an indoor theater, according to early site plans filed with the county, plans officially changed earlier in 2022. The theater and its roller coaster replacement were both rumored to have been themed after the Wolfman. Expected to be a family spinning roller coaster for mock rides, this ride is not expected to go upside down and may be almost entirely outdoors. Plans for the land had to be changed to accommodate for the larger footprint of the new attraction, which takes up much more space than the original theater. But surprisingly, the only structure that had to be moved was what permits call a drink stand. The additional section of land that the coaster has taken over was originally being designed as a small Central Park area. Permitted site plans do not contain many details for this attraction, other than the load area building and a section of the roller coaster called Scene 2 near the middle of the land. This is a project we'll be keeping a close eye on, as the layout will become clearer once the supports and track is installed on the array of coaster footers that are already in place. According to official site plans, additional space has been allocated for a third attraction within this land. At 3.34 acres and located at the very back of the land, this area is listed as Expansion Phase 2 in the plans. In fact, this is the only land in the entire park with a Phase 2 explicitly mentioned. Long rumored to be set aside for a boat ride based on the creature from the Black Lagoon, some believe this attraction was put on hold while they continued to work on perfecting the ride technology behind it. It is rumored that this future attraction would be an indoor ride, and may even be Universal's take on something like Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure at Shanghai Disneyland. There has not been any news on this rumored concept in quite a while, and so far no permits have been filed for this section of the land, so we'll just have to wait and see. While based on a classic horror movie franchise, the Universal Monsters Land is not expected to be like a year-round Halloween Horror Nights. Universal may be attempting to balance the scarier elements with some kid-friendly fare. The replacement of the theater show for a family spinning coaster may even have played a part in this, now offering a fun-looking coaster attraction that can be seen from the land's entrance to help entice families into the land. Despite earlier concepts calling this area of the park Dark Universe, the idea of basing a land on the failed cinematic universe seems to have been let go. Instead, this area may be designed as a new take on the classic Universal films of the 1930s through the 1950s, a series of films that quite literally saved the production studio from financial disaster. This immersive land may be Universal's love letter to these important characters, and Epic Universe will soon be the only place in the world where you can walk into their world, a world where monsters are real. Epic Universe will be Universal Orlando's newest theme park when it opens in 2025. It is being built a couple miles south of the current parks. In this 5-part video series, we are digging deeper into each of the areas of the new theme park. And today we are talking about the Super Nintendo World section of the park, known as Project 904 in permits. Since announcing their partnership in 2015, Universal Parks and Nintendo have announced that there will be 4 Super Nintendo World locations around the world. The land at Epic Universe will not be the first, as one will have already opened at Universal Studios Japan and another in Universal Studios Hollywood by then, but we are expecting this one to be the largest by size. The companies have announced that Universal Studios Singapore is set to receive a version of the land as well. Super Nintendo World in Epic Universe will share the most similarities with the land in Universal Studios Japan, as the other Super Nintendo World locations will not have as many attractions. The version of the land inside of Epic Universe is expected to open with the Mario Kart ride, Yoshi ride, and the Donkey Kong roller coaster when the park opens in 2025. The Donkey Kong coaster did not open with the land in Japan, but is instead being built as an expansion, which is scheduled to open there in 2024. Overlaying the Super Nintendo World plans for Epic Universe onto the land in Japan tells us that Orlando's version will be more than 40,000 square feet larger. We can also see how some elements of the two lands do not line up, most notably the area's entry through Peach's Castle, as well as other areas of the Mushroom Kingdom courtyard. Without being limited by space, like the land was in Universal Studios Japan, Super Nintendo World's pathways and central courtyard area has a bit more room to breathe in Epic Universe. It is also expected that the quick service restaurant may have additional space for more seating in Orlando. There were rumors early on in development that Orlando's version may even include small details and extra surprises that wouldn't be found anywhere else. One of these was for the addition of a small character theater located underneath Peach's Castle. With additional space for character greetings, perhaps this version of the land could open with more characters. One major difference that we do know about for Epic Universe's version of Super Nintendo World is how we will enter the land. As with all of the lands within the park, we will enter via a portal. The beacon atop the portal will be made up of several colorful pipes, along with floating power-ups like mushrooms and glowing superstars. After entering the portal, the inside will contain the familiar green pipe aesthetic and lighting effects as seen in other Super Nintendo worlds. But instead of simply walking through the pipe, we will ride an escalator up to reach the land's entry. Where the land already starts on the second level in Japan, this version will have to transport us from the ground level to the second level via an escalator. After reaching the top, the green pipe will transition to the interior of Peach's castle just as it does in Japan, allowing us to enter the land the same way. Some of the names for the attractions and dining will be different from Japan. For example, the main attraction's name is Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge there, but is named Bowser's Challenge here in the United States. Instead of Pinocchio's Cafe, our main dining location is named Toadstool Cafe. This main dining location is listed as having 344 seats in the permits. The menu in Epic Universe for this upscale quick service location will likely be similar or the same as the one introduced in Universal Studios Hollywood. There you can find foods like Toadstool Cheesy Garlic Knots, Super Mushroom Soup, Piranha Plant Caprese, Mario Bacon Cheeseburger, Luigi Pesto Chicken Burger, and desserts including the Question Block Tiramisu and Princess Peach Cupcake. The 2 snack windows found at Universal Japan's version of the land are expected to be included at Epic Universe as well. One, named Pit Stop Popcorn, will be located near the Mario Kart ride on the second level. The other, named Yoshi's Snack Island, is on the lower level near the Yoshi ride. It is not yet known if these windows will keep their original names or not. The Mario Kart ride is expected to be the same within all versions of Super Nintendo World. This interactive dark ride combines real physical sets, projection-mapped elements, and augmented reality visors to create a new type of theme park attraction. It's possible that Epic Universe's version of this attraction may contain an additional queue section not found in Japan, themed to Bowser's Fortress's courtyard. The family Omnimover style attraction named Yoshi's Adventure is expected to remain nearly identical to its Japan counterpart as well. This continually moving ride not only takes you on a brief scenic tour over the Mushroom Kingdom, but is actually interactive. Riders need to press the 3 colorful egg buttons at the correct times throughout the ride to win and complete their task for Captain Toad. The third attraction is the Donkey Kong roller coaster, expected to be named Minecart Madness. This ride is currently being built at both Universal Studios Japan and Epic Universe. It will feature both indoor and outdoor segments, where our runaway minecart will appear to jump over gaps in the track as we encounter multiple characters from the video game series. See our previous video for a complete rumored scene-by-scene breakdown of this attraction, as well as more details on the technology behind it. Plans also seem to show a small expansion area at the back of the land, beside the Donkey Kong ride. It is unknown if this expansion space will be used to add something to the Donkey Kong mini-land itself or be connected to the Mushroom Kingdom directly. There were early concepts for a Donkey Kong themed play area, so perhaps this space could be utilized for something like that one day. Super Nintendo World in Epic Universe will also open with all of the power-up band challenges and interactive elements. These wristbands will be available for purchase and can keep track of your scores on Mario Kart, show how many coins you've collected around the land, and allow you to participate in interactive games. These interactive challenges are essentially the land's 4th attraction, and you could easily spend hours experiencing them all. After completing at least 3 key challenges, you can participate in the boss battle, which acts as a finale where you get to team up with others to defeat Bowser Jr. The land will feature several carts that will sell the power-up bands, as well as at least 2 gift shop locations. One of these retail locations will be Mario Motors, the Mario Kart Rides exit gift shop on the upper level. And the other will be the 1-Up Factory, the land's main gift shop on the lower level. There will be one more Nintendo-themed store at Epic Universe as well, but this one will be located outside of the actual land. Facing the park's central hub, this small Nintendo store will be accessible by guests on their way out of the land, perfect for last-minute souvenirs. It will also allow guests to shop for Nintendo-themed merchandise even if the land has closed or is temporarily at capacity. This version of Super Nintendo World will also have additional exits on the lower level that lead directly to the hub. The land in Universal Studios Japan does not have that, forcing all guests to exit on the second level. While this version of Super Nintendo World will not be the first or even the second to open in the world, it will be the most complete when it opens in summer 2025. Plus, with its somewhat larger footprint, this version of the land may hold hidden surprises you won't find anywhere else. Whether those include that rumored character stage, additional meet and greet characters, or perhaps even an extra power-up band challenge remains to be seen. Regardless, there is no doubt that this will be an extremely popular and busy part of Epic Universe. Universal Orlando is building Epic Universe now, a couple miles south of the current theme parks. In this 5-part video series, we are digging deeper into each of the areas of the new park. In this installment, we are talking about the land we believe will be based on DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon, known as Project 903 in the permits. Immediately after entering the portal into this land, which is themed to the Isle of Berk after the events of the first film, you will see 2 large statues and a few Viking boats in the lagoon ahead. Permits for this area show natural gas lines running beneath the lagoon and ending at the statues for a flame effect related to these scenic elements. This land was designed with adventure and exploration in mind. Even upon entering, you can choose whether to go to the left or to the right. Ahead, you will see winding steel roller coaster track, zipping under a bridge and cutting through the land's lagoon. On your left will be a large outdoor play area, designed for exploring. This play area will likely be comparable to something like Camp Jurassic at Islands of Adventure, and just as well themed. The land's attractions are meant to help you train before you're ready for your very own dragon. A set of 2 Skyfly flat rides are next along the path. This area is themed as dragon racing as seen in the second film, complete with large crowd stands in the background. According to early concepts, this attraction was named Dragon Racer Rally. From Gerstlauer, the Skyfly ride system is unlike usual spinner rides, because riders have the ability to control how thrilling their ride will be. Using a lever attached to their seat, a rider can decide whether they want to rotate their individual seat around, going completely upside down. You can do as many barrel rolls while soaring in a circle as you want, or can personally handle, or choose not to go upside down at all. Continuing along this path on the left side of the lagoon, we find ourselves at the Haddock House, which serves as the entrance to the area's largest attraction, a steel-launched roller coaster. While we will likely not be riding atop a real dragon for this attraction, the people of Berk have created this contraption as a way to prepare us for the real thing. The trains will likely look like dragons, but in a handcrafted style, similar in concept to Flight of the Hippogriff at Islands of Adventure. The thrill level for this multi-launch coaster is expected to be similar to something like Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, but perhaps just slightly more family-friendly. Most of the ride appears to take place outdoors, but plans do call for a couple moments to take place within small show buildings, including one that passes below the stands at Dragon Racers nearby. It is possible that these interior sections could be for short show scenes. Manufactured by Intamin, this coaster will feature a dual-load platform. The ride appears to start with a launch hill and may contain a second launch somewhere on the back part of the ride as well. The coaster will travel around the north section of the land, passing below the lagoon's water level and under a bridge, before making its way behind the play area and under the stands behind the Skyfly rides. This coaster will likely not contain any inversions, meaning it will not go upside down, but it should still pack a bit of a punch, especially for a family coaster. Between the launches, skating across the water, possibly overbanked turns, and near misses, this should be the perfect introduction course to dragon training. There is one more ride to be found within this area of Epic Universe, an interactive boat ride in the middle of the land. Expected to be manufactured by Mock Rides, the interactive boat ride is also known as the Splash Battle Ride, because it allows riders to fire water cannons as the boats float slowly around the ride path. Themed as Viking boats, the floating ride vehicles won't be the only way you can join in on the splash battle. Guests along the banks of the attraction may be able to operate water cannons of their own, firing back at the ships as they pass. Targets will likely be set up along the path for riders to take aim at as well. After exploring play areas, training for G-forces on the Skyfly, taming a flying dragon on the coaster, and participating in target practice on the boats, there is one more major attraction set for this land: a live stage show. Permits describe the large structure at the southernmost part of the land as an indoor theater with at least 985 seats. Many believe this attraction may feature a show similar to Untrainable, which opened with Universal Studios Beijing in 2021. That show combines live actors, large-scale puppetry, moving set pieces, and screen-based media. After the show, guests will be able to visit the stables, located near the theater's exit. Here you will be able to meet many of your favorite dragons and characters from the series, including Toothless and Hiccup. But these won't be the only dragons that you'll find around the land. In fact, there may be dragons sticking out of the buildings all around the area. A two-headed dragon pokes its head out near the entrance to the boat ride. An ice dragon hangs out near an outdoor quick service location. And a wagging dragon tail sticks out of a window of the roller coaster's exit gift shop. Universal has actually applied for a patent for a piece of robotics technology which describes how it can be used to create a moving dragon tail. Several locations from the films will be recreated around the land, serving as shopping and dining establishments. One permit describes a candy store with homemade confectionaries located near the boats parked in the lagoon. The outdoor quick service permits say it will have a covered seating area with 204 seats, which overlook the boat ride. The main centerpiece for the entire land will be the hillside entrance to the Great Hall. This large restaurant will recreate the popular meeting place for the residents of Burke, complete with a very tall, round dining room surrounded by large columns. Permits say this upscale quick service location will have 244 seats. Permits also show gas lines running to the structure for the torches seen on either side of the Great Hall's entrance. One attraction that was rumored early on for this land, but was never part of the permitted plans, was a flying simulator ride. We talked about this early rumor years ago, which may have been prompted by patent applications from Universal. Illustrations included in these simulator attraction patents included some that featured what could be dragon-like seating. Some believed that the central structure in the plans may have been for a ride like this, but permit details later revealed that it will in fact be a restaurant. So it looks as though a simulator ride was never approved for this land. An area at the furthest corner of the land was originally marked for future expansion, but recently an additional drainage pond was constructed here. It is not known whether this pond will be a permanent addition or may have only been set up temporarily for construction. If it is temporary, that would give this land about 1.5 acres for future expansion space, where another attraction could be added someday. There are rumors that, like the power-up bands for Super Nintendo World, all of the lands of Epic Universe will feature some sort of interactive experiences that require purchasable items to participate in. For this land, there have been rumors that we will be able to adopt our very own dragon, who will make noises and react to different elements around the land, including other dragons. The How to Train Your Dragon land will be a colorful place with plenty of kinetic energy and motion visible in all directions, and it will be the perfect place for exploring. Despite having some of the more family-friendly offerings in the park, in true Universal Studios fashion, nothing will be too kiddie that everyone won't be able to enjoy it. After all, you've never been able to flip upside down on Dumbo. Universal Orlando is building Epic Universe now a couple miles south of the current theme parks. In this 5-part video series, we are digging deeper into each of the areas of the new theme park. In this installment, we are talking about the land we believe will be a new Wizarding World, known as Project 905 in permits. This third Wizarding World for Universal Orlando is expected to explore one final location from the original Harry Potter books and films, the British Ministry of Magic. The main attraction for this land will likely be set within this iconic location, located within a structure that will make it the largest indoor ride at Epic Universe. Rumored to be named Battle of the Ministry of Magic, it is rumored that we will gain entry to the Ministry by using the Flu Network, and we will enter a large hallway through a magical fireplace using special effects. Ahead of us will be the massive atrium as seen in the Harry Potter films, surrounded by towering office windows. As we move into a more traditional ride queue, we will pass through some of these offices in the Ministry, including the office of Dolores Umbridge, who is rumored to be the villain for this attraction. We've talked about earlier versions of this attraction which would have had the story focusing on Umbridge on trial after the events of the original Harry Potter series. In these versions of the ride, Death Eaters would break in to break her out, and we would go on an adventure to stop her and the Death Eaters from attempting to bring Voldemort back to life. While those early versions had the ride start within a courtroom, current plans appear to have us boarding elevators within the round rotunda of lifts as seen in the films. This possible track layout was created using permits and site plans filed with the county. It does not include the design for the load and unload areas which may be located above this main ride path. It is rumored that this ride will be utilizing a modified version of the Scoop ride vehicles, first used on the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure, and then later used on rides like Transformers The Ride 3D and Jurassic World Adventure. In addition to being able to move through scenes with the vehicle's built-in motion base, it is rumored that this new version of the ride vehicle will also have the ability to move up and down as well. Since the ride is apparently designed to appear as though we are traveling within a magical lift, which acts like a Wonka Vader within the stories, able to travel in any direction, there may be moments where it will appear that we are traveling up and down throughout the attraction. Some of the sections seen in the possible track layout may be for these vertical motion moments. Universal has patented different types of technologies for rides that incorporate lifts, and these patents include the ability to change scenery through adaptive projection mapping. The vertical motion of the ride vehicles during these segments may be exaggerated or accentuated by projections in front of us. This could make the short distance that the ride vehicles are rumored to be able to move up and down seem like we are traveling much further. Just like Jurassic World Adventure at Universal Studios Beijing, this ride is not expected to utilize 3D glasses. And just like that ride, this one is expected to have multiple animatronics, including one that may be very similar to the Chasing Indominus Rex. It is rumored that Interrumpent, which is like a giant rhino in the Wizarding World, has escaped from the Department of Magical Creatures during our adventure through the Ministry. According to this rumor, the giant animatronic animal will be charging at us for an entire scene while we make our escape backwards. This ride is still currently rumored to feature Dolores Umbridge and is still expected to take place shortly after the events of Deathly Hallows. On the ride, it is rumored that Umbridge has joined forces with the Death Eaters, and as such will be able to teleport around us. But in true Umbridge form, she would leave behind a pink smoke trail instead of gray. Universal has reportedly been attempting to create this Ministry of Magic attraction for years, originally planning it as a trackless ride as an expansion for Diagon Alley in Universal Studios Florida. Eventually, the concept was moved here to Epic Universe, where it will have more space for the Flu Network entry and impressive atrium. This attraction may be Universal's conclusion to the Harry Potter saga within the Wizarding World lands at the parks, and could be their grand finale. Hogsmeade was the start of the stories and represents our introduction to the characters and settings. Next came Diagon Alley, incorporating us ourselves into moments taken directly from the films. And now this will act as a third act and conclusion, wrapping up our own adventures within the Wizarding World. As massive as it will be, this ride was not the only attraction designed to be set within this third Wizarding World. A second ride was initially planned to open with this land, but has since been cancelled. The facades are still being constructed, as well as the ride's entrance, but the attraction's building has been completely removed from recent permits and site plans submitted with the county. This ride would have been a virtual reality attraction where we would have gotten to fly on a broomstick. The attraction was originally being planned around the Fantastic Beasts film series. The setting for the ride was going to be the French Ministry of Magic, and it seems that the facades outside still will be. If it had been built, this would have been the highest capacity VR attraction in the world, with 144 broomstick pods, which could all be in use at once. Groups of 24 guests at a time would experience a pre-show within a briefing room, and then be split into 4 groups of 6. Those groups of 6 riders would climb atop their broomstick, put on their VR headset, and travel together on an adventure through Wizarding Paris. This attraction would have seen us fly through Paris with Newt Scamander and his friends as we attempt to stop an Obscurus from destroying the city. This ride was cut from Epic Universe, but was briefly planned to be built as an expansion to Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida instead, with a new story revolving around the Harry Potter era. Ultimately, though, the VR attraction was canceled there as well. As to why, some have guessed that the high number of team members that would be needed to run so many virtual reality pods would have made this ride a staffing nightmare. Or perhaps the technology for VR may not be ready for such a large-scale application within a theme park. Or the opening of a similar VR broomstick experience at the Harry Potter store in New York, which opened in 2021, may have had something to do with the cancellation. While the VR attraction may have been removed from the plans at Epic Universe, the area behind what would have acted as its main entrance is remaining saved as future expansion space here within the Wizarding World land. When they are ready to construct something, they have enough room to add an attraction as large as the British Ministry ride on the other side of the land. Despite a Fantastic Beasts ride that would have been located within the French Ministry being cancelled, the land itself is still expected to be set within Wizarding France, as first seen in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. After passing through the portal from the hub, we will enter this land by passing under the Porte Saint-Denis Arch from Paris. The main streets of this land were themed as Place Cachée, set up similarly as Diagon Alley, with its own wizarding shops and dining locations. At the end of the land's main street will be an attraction that is set within Paris. Plans seem to have us entering this indoor attraction by passing through the Circus Arcanus tent, as seen in the second Fantastic Beasts film. After entering the small tent, it will appear much larger inside. Permits say this structure will be a 5-story theater with a stage and at least 642 seats. We do not know what type of show may happen inside of this theater, but many have speculated that it may contain some sort of wand battle show. This tall theater is connected to the land's main attraction, and that main attraction is set within the British Ministry of Magic, despite the land outside taking place within France. It is rumored that the Flu network we use to travel into the British Ministry will explain how we are traveling from one country to another. The land itself will contain multiple retail locations, which will likely be inspired by the stores within Place Cachée. This could include a cauldron shop, clothing shop, pub, Quidditch store, pet shop, candy shop, and other types of locations like we already have in Diagon Alley, but here it will be their French equivalent. One interesting location is a wand shop called Baguette Magique de Cosme et Cajor, which is similar to Ollivander's, but with its own line of magic wands, each packaged within unique triangle boxes. Permits call for 2 different dining locations within the land, one on either side of the main street. One will have 227 seats according to permits, and the other is permitted as having 281 total seats. However, 64 of those may be for a connected team member grill located backstage. There have been rumors for magical creatures to be located all around the land, including large creatures sticking out of windows above the paths, which may interact with guests using interactive wands. There are also rumors that a new generation of interactive wands will be introduced with the debut of this land. The wand experiences within the previous Wizarding World lands are also rumored to be updated to incorporate these new, more advanced wands as well. It is not known how the new wands will be different than the older ones, but some have suggested that they may allow us to see the magic emanating from them for the first time using special effects within these interactive experiences. While the land itself may have been inspired by the Fantastic Beasts film series, it seems like the attraction that would have tied it directly to these stories has been cut. This leaves us with a new place within the Wizarding World to explore, with an emphasis on the magical creatures themselves, but not the film series specifically. Given the scale and ambition of the area's main attraction, it feels as though the main draw here will be the impressive ride that finishes out the Potter-era series of rides with a bang. That's it for this installment, and while this marks the end of our deep dive into all of the theme park areas of Epic Universe, there are still several hotels under construction for the new park, as well as multiple expansion plots designated for future growth later on. My name is Alicia Stella, thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this series, please share it with a friend, and I'll see you next time. It all started with a big bang. In 1957, the Martin Company opened a large Orlando plant, a place where they would manufacture missiles. But they also had to test them. Here on this plot of land south of downtown Orlando is where 60 years later, Universal Epic Universe would be built. Components of the nation's Patriot and Hellfire missiles were tested in this once open field, just meters from where we would enter the sparkling gardens of Celestial Park. Through the gates of the Kronos portal. The guest toll booths that lead to the parking lot for this theme park were once designated locations for explosive ordnance tests. The story of how this particular plot of land went from testing flying missiles to testing flying dragons is filled with more twists and turns than the tracks of Stardust Racers. With decades of environmental cleanup, failed plans by Universal to build a different theme park here in the 1990s, multiple land sales, lawsuits, and special permits, the road to Epic Universe has never been a straight line. It's a universe filled with fantastic worlds, sandwiched between a hub for the nation's largest defense contractor and a water treatment plant, which took the company decades to design, build, and perfect. Let's hop aboard a comet, travel down the extended Kirkman Road, and embark on an epic journey.
Universal acquired more land in Orlando.
Site development documents have confirmed.
We're going to launch Universal's Epic Universe.
Universal's Epic Universe will be the largest Universal theme park in the world.
Almost doubling the size of Universal Orlando Resort.
I don't think there's been an announcement like this in over 20 years.
But the pandemic hit. Epic would be delayed.
Universal Epic Universe is officially open.